Found the problem. The directions say M2 screws. The directions are right here. And if we start looking at it, it says with short M2 cylinder screws. Well, guess what I have? I have M3 cylinder screws, not M2. So that's where the problem is. They're too big. But it took me a while, but I remembered I had some Godhead drill bits. They're indexed very well. And they came to the rescue. And I now have it drilled out. Those go all the way up to 3 millimeters, so I was able to fix this. So I should be able to put the Starship flaps on now. Okay, I already tested one of these. I know this fits in there. Just got to get it aligned correctly. I already tested one of these screws in one of them, and I did some test holes. I'm not stupid. I mean, I learned over time. Of course I'm stupid. I have an ex-wife. No, that's just... Don't take that serious, okay? But, yeah, there it is. I did some test holes. Drilled some test holes in a leftover piece. Okay, so I knew how hard it would be to drill the hole and all that stuff before I started this. And I knew the screw would start, and it started. And these are fairly short screws. They're not real long. They're going to fit pretty tight. But the thing about it is, when I get them in there, and I did drill out the hole long enough, I've done enough woodworking to know if I don't drill that hole out long enough, see, now the fin moves, and it's in there. I've learned a long time ago, if I don't drill that hole out long enough, I'm just going to break it. It's just going to snap, crack, and break. Enough woodworking experience gets you there, okay? So I'm putting this other fin on. Yes, you're going to see that screw. If I were to go with a smaller profile, I could probably get it in there. There we go. Are we aligned for the screw? Lighting is not good for what I'm trying to do. I'm going to have to stand up and move over to the light. There it goes. Now it's aligned. Let's get this other screw and get her screwed in. Okay. And then I might put the cylinder together. I might put the front flaps on. The front flaps don't get screwed in. They get put on a different way. Yeah, this is biting in now. I just had a hole too small. So not too small. I was using too big of bolts. I have a lot of M3 screws, not M2s. There we go. Now that's on there. It's pretty stiff, which is good. Okay. I can now join the two cylinders together. This is... Yeah, it's sitting weird because of that. But I can now join the two cylinders together, which should go like this. And yeah, they fit fairly well. They're going to fit fairly tight. So I can join the two cylinders together. And there will be a seam line, but they did the seam line on a known panel line. So that's going to work fine. Okay? I don't know what these holes are and what goes there. I'm not going to worry about it right now. That is probably all these little pieces setting off to the side that I'm not sure what they are. Okay? That fits in there, but I got to figure out how it goes in there. I'll have to go downstairs and look at the 3D model, but it looks like this peg fits in this hole. And hopefully I wasn't supposed to put it in before gluing, which I can still get access to it this way. So before I glue these together, I might have to go downstairs and figure out where these go, because there are 4 holes that go through the ship, 4 round holes, and I have these 4 guys. Okay, and I am not sure what they're for, and there is not a lip on the inside for them. Okay, and again, there's 4 of these, and they are all the same size. And then we got these black spacers here, and then we got these 2. Okay, I know what these 2 go to. Pretty sure. Actually, I'm not sure what those go to. Would not surprise me. Yep, I found where these guys go. I found where these guys go. I'm not sure what goes in these holes, so I'm going to have to look. I'm going to set this aside for a moment. And this actually, not this, yeah, these actually fit here, like this. They fit in there way too well. And I have two open. Ah, they were supposed to be open, so I'm going to move these. They were supposed to be open. Okay, so I'm going to remove those. I'm going to go and put this in here. So I'm going to go and glue this in. I hate when I'm off camera because I don't do it consciously. And I'm going to get some glue on the outside of this, which is okay. One thing about this is not paint. Okay? Definitely not paint. It's pretty obvious which way they go. I know what these are for. These are fueling ports. One of the things they're going to do with this ship is they're going to refuel in space. In order to refuel in space, you have to have a fueling port. But I am going to stop in a minute and go downstairs and look at where the rest of this stuff goes. Like, I don't think this goes there. Looks like it might actually fit there. Okay, I don't know where these little black squares go. There is a expanded view, so I can go downstairs and look at the expanded view of this thing. And there are, okay, I know where the other two go. They go down here. What I have to do, though, is I have to clean out the insides of them, because they printed face down. When they print face down, they are doing a fill on them so that they are covering up. Where'd the other one go? Please don't lose it. There it is. They print face down and they do the support on the bottom because it won't print correctly if you don't have a support on the bottom. You won't get that little nozzled look on the inside of it unless you put a support on the bottom. So I've got these two here. They're going to go on the ship here. Again, I know these are refueling docking ports. Okay, there are some details missing from this ship, and I don't know if he added them on the updated model, but I don't have this silver filament anymore, so I don't have the way to reprint this. I don't know if I'd want to at this point in time, because this guy's pretty big. I mean, again, super heavy. He's like 2.5 feet tall. Heaven help me if I decide to print the launch complex for this. There is a model of the launch complex, but can you imagine how big that would be? By the way, I am printing the launch complex. That's that big model I'm printing downstairs. You stuck through this video this long, you deserve to hear that. Okay, and I'm pretty sure someone will spoil it and leave it in the comments, so everyone will know what I'm doing. I gotta figure, oh, I know where those black pieces go now. They go here on the front, in these squares. Okay? Yeah, they do. I'll have to clean them up a little bit to get them to fit in. So I know where these two go. I still don't know where these three go. Okay? I'm gonna go and put the fins on the front of this ship. Okay? Now, the fins go in here. They go in here a little weird. They're supposed to go in here like this, but you'll notice there is no bolt holes for them. That's because you're supposed to take a piece of filament and thread it through and then glue the end of the filament. And a lot of these 3D printed kits do this, where you're putting things together with filament. Use filament as the hinge, which is a little strange to me, but it works. It seems to work. As long as you're not playing with it, you know, like I wouldn't let my 5-year-old, yeah, so look, the filament's just going right up in there. And it'll hold it in place. Now I gotta cut it. I need to get some cutters and cut that. But it's going right up in there and going straight in place. I do need to figure out where a few of these pieces go, though. And then I can glue the cylinders together and then glue the engines in. And that will be it for this model. Okay, let me go get some cutters. I don't think I have flush cutters up here. I do. I have some of the lower tier God hands up here. Okay. Are these God hands? Yes, these are lower tier God hands. You can tell by the handle. But they should be at the task for trimming that. And yeah, they did. They trimmed it pretty good. You can see right here that they trimmed it pretty good, right where my finger's pointing, right there. I left a little bit of a nub, but that's fine. Really nice. Now let me get this other one on. I can see some glue marks on this thing, but that's okay. Let's feed the filament in the hole. Hopefully I didn't break this. No, I didn't. If it's out of alignment, that filament isn't going to go in there, and it's not going in there. Out of alignment a little bit. Let's turn it, and let's see if that'll help. Now, fun thing, my 8-year-old's about to turn 9, and for her birthday, she wants an iguana. Now, how fun is that going to be, that the kid wants an iguana? Not an iguana, a chameleon. She wants a chameleon for her birthday. I don't know how I feel about that, because the girls aren't here very often, and it will need its cage cleaned once a week. So I'm putting a little bit of glue where the filament comes out. Probably a mistake. But, you know, if it is a mistake, we'll fix it later. But right now, the nose cone has its fins on there. I'm going to go ahead and glue these 2 pieces in. I still don't know where these 3 black pieces go, so I might have to go downstairs and look at the exploded view. I'm probably gluing these 3 pieces in incorrectly. Yeah, of course. I got to have some glue on my fingers, right? To get all over everything. Yep. Here we go, the glue fingers. And what did I do wrong? Can anyone tell me what I did wrong as a beginning model builder? I did not test fit these before I added the glue to the model. And I'm paying the price now. I'm slicing off pieces of it to get them to fit. Well, it still doesn't fit, and I sliced a big chunk off there. There it went. Snapped right in. That snapped right in there. I sliced just enough off. So I know how much I got to slice off this one now to get it to fit on there just right, because that's what we want. We want to be able to just put it in just right. Okay. Yep. Just went right in there. So what I have left is I have to figure out what these 3 black pieces are and put the engines on. The engines are fragile. They don't really hold on there really well. So I might get some epoxy resin out for that. I am going to go ahead and glue part of the body together. Now, I'll come back. I'm going to go down and figure out